Yeah, I was really getting flashbacks from last casting experience. We're about to sit there for another 10 minutes.
Well, I'll have you know, Big Sarge. This time I made sure to grab myself some extra water so I don't end up extra parched when we have an hour and a half long broadcast.
Oh, absolutely right. As I got my coffee right next to me. Fun fact: I only like to drink coffees before games or now I guess casting. Other than that, I'm not drinking anything. As we get Knock as a first ban, which is honestly not a bad ban coming from who is. I mean, I honestly do not remember who is defending after this last ordeal of rehosting. Okay, coming in from Vancouver, getting in their first ban as a Knock, and then we get a Thatcher ban. A little bit of a ranked ban, if I do say so myself, but definitely not a bad ban. But Knock, I say, is a good ban. Coming up from Atlanta, being a very aggressive team, and seeing how she can be a little pest sometimes.
And I just want to point out those frag grenades, Big Sarge. I know you were watching the last game. I sure was. I watched a lot of kills come from frag grenades. Even when the enemy team had Wamai, sadly, a lot of those Wamai discs were still in pocket for some reason. Not sure why that was, but those grenades were really effective and honestly, probably a pivotal reason that they ended up winning that match.
I think you're absolutely right. When it comes down to it, a lot of people think grenade kills are free kills when used right, and I have to completely agree on that. There's easy ways to counter them, but when you're getting naded from below, what else can you do? If drones are in set or they have the intel, it's a free kill.
Getting into this match now, we got Vancouver starting on this defense and Atlanta starting on the attack. What are you looking to see here in these first early rounds to really set the pace from each team?
Well, I believe Vancouver's gonna take it a little slow. I think Atlanta's gonna drone out a bit, and but I think they're gonna come in heavy as they're gonna immediately go for map control. As
Attackers need to
we
locate
do
and
get
defend
a
this
borders
bomb.
and tellers play first, coming in first. I'm actually kind of surprised. You would think everyone's gonna do a kind of a default start going aviator, but nope, going straight into tellers and bathroom. As we do get a rotate going into workshop and getting all the hatches, getting all the setups. As we see, only seeing one drone on the board. No, two drones. And I believe they are preparing.
Well, one thing I'll point out, Big Sarge, is I've watched Vancouver's defense
Attackers have
on
discovered the
border,
location of a bomb.
especially on this site earlier on in the
10
season,
seconds
back
to
when
insertion.
I was playing for the team under the legendary Rays Shadow
5
23.
seconds to go.
Going to be very interesting to see how this Vancouver team plays differently. I know back
Attackers'
then
objective is to
they
defuse the bomb.
Ottawa had a very, very weak roster, honestly, at that point. It's really improved a lot, and this Atlanta team is definitely a lot better than that roster. It's going to be interesting to see how Vancouver steps up their game, because I know when they played against Ottawa, they were very much walling themselves in sight. But Warden here, going for something gutsy early, definitely looking at playing this differently than before.
Oh, most definitely. As you see, Warrior now just holding the mainstays. Kind of interesting take, because one simple drone, as we just saw, now they have the intel. You're going to think they're just going to take it. Ooh, as we get some shots traded off from below, as now Jackal already at half, which is actually a good play, I'd say. Coming in from smoke, also smoke leading to half, but it can go either way. But like I said, immediately going in for the map control as 2 minutes still in the game, already having top control, and now one going down from Fuse, bringing down Cade. As now Fuse going over the hatch, looking for easy kills. Oh, and he just barely misses him. Luckily, that wall is there for him. But they know they're already on top, and they're already over that hatch. Now he's just waiting for the drop.
Attackers drop
As
diffuser.
you, like I
Very,
said though. Oh, go ahead.
very interesting to see Atlanta here. The usual getting up, the setting up, taking that map control in the first minute. But the key for them is their transitions. I know that they're a very strong team and very aggressive and quick, but they got to transition here successfully. Straw out. Straw and a Fuse getting in there.
Ooh, look at
Getting that
that.
kill.
As now they have taken sight. Ooh, and then as one goes down, as Smoke is taking fire, and oh, he's holding up right at the reinforcement. As again, they already have sight control, and he now goes down as they're now rotating. Now is a 3v1 as trade shots, and he is now dead, giving Atlanta the first win. Like I said already before, they're gonna go in and go hard. Immediately taking map control, which is I'm kind of surprised. I didn't think I saw one roamer upstairs.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, Big Sarge. I know I said Vancouver's playing it differently, but one thing I know is the same is Vancouver just doesn't hold upstairs on border when they're a downstairs site. Not anyone upstairs at all to even try and slow down the Atlanta side, which really just let them bust in and take control very quickly. They did have some nice holes in the floor to maybe send a little bit vertical play back the way of Atlanta, but I still think just having a little bit of presence upstairs to slow
Defenders,
them
protect
down
your bombs
could
from
do
being
them some
defused
good.
by attackers.
And honestly, I do like that fuse and ace play. He goes ahead and pre-places a fuse charge, making my little man downstairs run around, and then he drops hatch and getting the easy free kill. And then they immediately take site. I was a little questionable where the diffuser was when site was taken, but they were still able to manage to get the kills off and be able to win the round. As we see now, going in for an aviator hold, almost kind of going the same thing as we get a Mira. And where would we? Oh, we get a Mira into, I believe that in his office. I haven't seen that in a very
10
long
seconds to
time.
go.
What an interesting play, as she still has
5
one
seconds
Mira
to insertion.
in her pocket and having the whole office wall open. Honestly, for most teams, I do end up seeing that they reinforce that wall off. Preferably, I like to do the same, but I really want to see how this gameplay works out. As the playable showed also in office. What interesting hold. What do you take on this hold?
Well, this is definitely a little bit less conventional, but I think that's a good thing. I mean, we're heading into playoffs. Teams are going to get really good at playing things the same old default way. So being able to switch it up as a defender on them could be really good. And as careless as Atlanta can sometimes be when they're rushing in and aggressively taking control, I think there's a good chance that this might catch them off guard.
You're absolutely right. I do want to see what will he do with fuse. They didn't decide to switch off a fuse, knowing they went aviator. And the only thing that I can really see is him fusing the window, as they're now going for the attempt on a wall, and I believe they're going to try to find a device on the wall, that's why I actually really like IQ. As we get our first pick down, K going down, and he is now muted.
Very interesting to see this fuse really being a fragger early, but it picked back from earlier, moving this out at a 4v4.
Oh, yes, and wall still hasn't been taken, as Osa now goes down. I believe only one with EMPs. As he gets shot from the window from behind, as he is now dead. And that's what he was worried about at first. I don't know if you saw him going around, peeking back and forth. And now they have taken 90 control, and now he's inside. He jumped through the window and had made his second play, taking inside. As now she is stuck in office, going for the nitro. Goes for the swing. Oh, I don't see anything coming in. Oh, I see mixed plays as a couple of whiffs go down, and he gets knifed. A lot went wrong and a lot went well for Atlanta.
You hate to see the disrespectful knife there, but that fuse popping off both of these first early rounds. Fuse went into think him a little bit slow, not really your frontline guy. I think he got 3 frags each round there, really just paving the way for the rest of his team to follow behind him and take easy control of site.
Honestly, I stuttered a little bit there in that last play because I saw a whole lot of whiffing going on. I believe Mir should have died after the first 2 swings, the flash off, the knife, everything was going wrong for Vancouver, and everything was going right for Atlanta. As Atlanta's still playing their very aggressive roles, as Few surprisingly just runs into sight through the window, getting his first, I believe, 3 picks. And he is now 6-0, as he is now has more kills combined than each team.
Very interesting to see how much impact one player can have. You mentioned E-subs carrying teams. What about just players on teams putting up very dominant performances themselves, really just controlling play early on, all by himself?
No, you're absolutely right. As a lot of teams in the series, you can see take control, just like how Ben might dropping 18 against Ottawa, and then you have, I believe is it Blessing or Lessing that breaks the record, the kill record, going 25 on Boston.
Definitely impressive to see, but at the end of the day, you gotta be able to play as a team if you want to pull out these harder matchups, as this game should be if Vancouver's able to get something going here.
No, you're absolutely right. Right now, it's kind of showing like it's a one-man show. Has teams just rushing into sight once again, and they're really breaking apart Vancouver's defense. Vancouver not being able to really focus on his attacking, as he's now starting to fuse from above. Not a game. Oh, as Mozzie takes some damage from above. Not a bad play coming from Fuse. And going in for the first swing and having a little late reaction getting the first kill off of Mozzie. As Vancouver already down one, being able to get the refrag. Frost still playing in the workshop. As we have Bandit coming in for the play, holding a tight angle and getting nope, misses a couple of shots, being able to tag Ace just a bit. Little low on health. Ooh, getting his drone ready, knows where he's still inside, going for the pre-fire. Still going for the drone. I'd be careful doing that. One little wall bang, he is dead. Now realizing he's playing close. Ooh, and he barely misses the kill on Morden. Kind of stuck in this little office now.
Aggressive play early on in Atlanta. They got that map control, but Vancouver's been able to slow them down. But now we're back at an even man count here, 3v3. Vancouver's got a hold firm on the site, but Atlanta's still got a minute and a half to play with here.
I think the problem with Atlanta doing now is they're playing a little slower. They're kind of changing it up. They were doing just fine. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And I believe they're trying to fix something that wasn't needed. As now it is down to looking at first round going to Vancouver. If everything goes right, is Ace, I'd say around 25, 26 health. As you still have Warden full health. One at 25, I'd say one at 65. It does not look too good for him.
Well, he's got a minute to play with and Diffuser here. We've seen some crazy plays by players before. This is definitely possible, just very difficult.
No, you're absolutely right. As a tight hold, still I believe playing from Bandit, just waiting on a swing. As he crouches up, looking to do a little quick peeking, and he sees him, and Bandit falls. As nice shots going to Ace. As now he's taking into customs all the way going to main lobby. He's doing a little quick peeks. He really has to play careful here because he can easily get pinched by each individual. Going for breaking the shield and dies through the pre-fire. Excellent execution by Frost.
A good attempt there to try and clutch up with Vancouver. I think a big part of what they did right this time is they won those off-site battles, or at least made them last longer. We saw Atlanta. They got control of B site really quick that round still, but Diffuser wasn't there. They weren't able to take the full map control that they wanted in time, and in the end, Vancouver had the man advantage and was able to close it out.
I think you're absolutely right. And you've seen a lot of roamers were hanging around downstairs, so I'm kind of surprised they didn't take the vertical row.
You know, definitely interesting to see. Vancouver, again, doesn't really play the vertical seemingly on border at all. I don't know if maybe they just don't think it's necessary or what the reason for that is, but Atlanta didn't really get much done with that up-top control as far as I saw.
I think you're absolutely right. I believe taking a little upstairs routes, being able to get some kills down, especially having a fuse, you think, oh, that's in the bag. But they kind of did a little reverse and pushed downstairs, and you kind of saw how that ended up being.
You pointed it out, Atlanta was being very good, very aggressive early on, but that round, I'm not so sure if it was maybe a little more hesitancy from Atlanta or maybe Vancouver finally settling down, getting in their groove, getting a few more members on the board with kills that really allowed them to finally take that first win and hopefully allow them to get some momentum going on this defense.
You're absolutely right. With Matty looking for his first kill, same going to Ducky. Ducky being able to get a couple of shots off people, getting them 3 assists, same going to Maddie, still looking for both their first kills. And I believe Ducky is going to get a little two for this game, or this round. But a lot can change. As they are now, again, still playing a little of the smaller push rolls, as now they're a little separated. Jacko going onto the window, and Capito on the rappel. Will he be able to just rush in again?
I mean, you've got to feel like at this point, Vancouver's got to be ready for those aggressive charges from Atlanta, but Atlanta very good at rushing in, not just simply doing it. Let's see if they're able to find ways to maybe overcome that, or maybe if we see a little bit of Atlanta slowly.
And honestly, I believe Mozzie again now waiting for that window peek. I don't know if you remember this. And Mozzie going down. Ironically, he was watching his window knowing that's exactly where Dash getting shot from the back. And I think that was the same case again, getting shot from the back. And you're now down to a, tough call on going for that kill. As he goes for a Nitro. Now already in a 4v2 with 4v1 as Hornet's down. He's now one shot and he gets a quick peek in. Ooh, what a beautiful shot by Ash.
Well, Atlanta, they're getting more aggressive again. You see them, they're not necessarily just rushing in. They're very smart with it, but they are explosive. Once they find that weakness, once they figure out where they want to push, and they all sync up, it's very hard to stop them from executing on it.
And you're absolutely right. They found their weakness and they took advantage of it. Immediately going down from a 5v5 going down to a 4v4, then a 4v1 as K goes down. And Ash getting that nice little one tap on Bandit. What a great shot.
Attackers need to locate and
Very
defuse
impressive play
bombs.
there from Atlanta. We know border sometimes is a bit harder of a map to defend, but still, down 3-1 on the defensive side this early on. You got to think they're at least trying to draw even 3-3 here if they really want to make this the close game that we all thought it could be.
Now, I want to see Atlanta. I'd say Atlanta's going to do a strong uptick again. As you saw from the previous round, Vancouver wasn't very heavy up top roaming. And I think if they don't have anyone upstairs again, they will take advantage of that.
I'm really curious here if we can, pretty much, to try and keep eyes on that upstairs, really close eye on Vancouver up there, and see if they do stick with anyone up there, or if they just reinforce hatch, try and blow it from below with pulse as it looks like they're doing. Definitely a very interesting way to go about it. I feel like most teams really get a lot out of upstairs holds while having tight downstairs on border, but Vancouver here still opting not to even try floating someone up there, it seems. But Warden here, upstairs, if I'm looking this right, seeing if he gets any conflict and if he's able to slow him down.
As one already goes, two already down. As Atlanta still going with the same role, just quick and easy. As Maddie also going down, now it is now even out the match as Castle is down with Pulse also believe is dead. And now it's down to a 2v4. It seems like a little backfired a bit. Warden being able to get the upstairs control fairly easily. And they really went for a workshop push as will he go for the revive?
You know, I don't know if they realize this or not, but I think they have enough control of sight to get plant down if they needed to. But the revive going off here, so that opportunity is going to close with 3 defenders, probably not getting that plant down with only 2 people.
No, you're absolutely right. And they do have the man advantage and the health advantage, seeing as Sledge is about 75 health close to, and 2 still full health, as it seems like they're not really sure what to do. They do still have both their drones, and they could make easy plays, as they both decide to drone.
Well, we know this Atlanta side is really aggressive. We're looking here. They still got all 10 drones on the board. You gotta think, hopefully a lot of them are in good flank spots, giving them passive intel here, but really gotta think maybe if they're a little bit better.
Ooh, good nade. That's a good
frag
frag
here. A refrag got 1v2, and the defenders end up playing. Big plays by that Warden there. He didn't get any of that action upstairs that maybe he was looking for, but back on site cleans it up there, making this a 3-2 game.
Yes, sir. As they are starting to make their comeback now. I think they're starting to adapt, as we did see from Anchorage and Vancouver. Vancouver was able to see how they were playing and able to adapt, even in a 4v5 situation. And you can tell from Vancouver, manpower is not always a problem with them. They are ready if they are up or down men. They will still try for the win. And as you see, they just took now their second round in a row.
Well, St. Matty here is just really not having a good day. First 4 rounds, you know, he's losing all his gunfights. And then that last round there, we see he gets PK'd, actually running in front of his teammate while his teammate is shooting in server. Just a really bad start to him so far. He's the only one still with a 0 on the board. It's going to be really important for him to get involved here if Atlanta wants to continue the dominance they've had early on.
No, you're absolutely right. And as your frag not being able to frag out, it can resolve a problem mentally for the team and yourself. Because I know personally, if I have that issue, I'm the fragger and I can't drop a kill, it's going to kill a toll on me. I feel like I'm not doing my job helping my team out. And it can really have a major effect on somebody.
Final round of Vancouver's defense here. Looks like they're going back upstairs, decently spread out around that 2nd floor. How is Atlanta going to look at this? Are they going to go with that same explosive entrance style that they had success with early on that really seemed to get bitten by that last round? Or are they going to change things up?
It seems like they do kind of change things, taking a little slow. As you see the first couple of rounds upstairs, they immediately rush to that window. Now they feel like, okay, let's change it a bit, let's take it a bit slower. Now he's back on the window. I don't know if you saw it just a second ago. Warden was trying to spawn peek, but that's exactly why I don't spawn over there. I hate that spawn peeks. with a passion. As we are now back in the same spots.
Always huge if you're able to get an early pick for your team, but Atlanta here taking it early control, getting a kill already. He ace
Already inside. How is he inside?
What is Vancouver doing here? Getting he's there?
Ooh, and just pick off and an immediate trade.
That window has been insane for Atlanta so far this match.
And the funny thing is, it's the same guy playing each time. As we're now already down to a 4v2 and getting the plant down. Twitch getting the plant down now at 50. And it is honestly such a force of habit saying how long it's that to take time on the diffuser. As we are now both stuck on 90, it looks like. And the roles are reversed. Defending are now attacking are now defending. Still 90 can being up. Being able to see if anyone's holding across. As one is on window and one is just waiting for him to swing on fountain. As Ducky goes down off of 90. Almost wall banging his teammate. Going for the kill and not being able to get it. Where Maddie is, I believe, able to get her first kill. Ayana.
With the pistol too, definitely a way to boost that confidence after some early struggles. But really, a dominant round by Atlanta. Again, I know I've criticized Vancouver for not roaming enough, but when you're down to a 4v2 and neither of the two are seemingly near sight, it's almost like Atlanta just kicks your door down, shoots the first guy dead, and then has control of sight seemingly before you even know they were pushing.
No, you're absolutely right. I think they went from roaming not at all to everybody roaming almost. As Ace immediately being able to take sight, going down, but Sledge being able to take a refrag. St. Maddie's now able to get his first 2 kills on the board, where Ducky's still in this little bit of a slump, but I believe he'll be able to make his comeback. As now the kills are starting to get a little more spread out throughout both teams.
Oh, you know, gotta love it when a team shows they can take control, shows that they can keep playing their way until you force them to change. And so far, for the most part, that's what Atlanta's done. I know they lost 2 rounds maybe because they got a little too over-aggressive, but on the attacking side, taking 4 attacking rounds, whether the map wins one way or the other, you're still happy with that. Now they just got to get 3 more on their defense to close it out.
I think Atlanta is a better team attacking wise, but do not sleep on their defending because they will defend their map pretty well. As again now taking them reverse as they're kind of heavy roaming as 2 only in sight, still getting off the and he goes for the spawn peak and dies, but not going out without a fight as Nomad is now low on health.
Well, that's the thing with spawn peaks. Getting the man advantage really is huge, but losing it just as detrimental. It's going to be interesting to see here how Atlanta's defense differs from Vancouver. Vancouver is seemingly a very much more passive team, especially on boarding, but Atlanta here on their defenses, they tend to keep it a little bit like their attacks, aggressive and explosive.
I was so confused. I thought that was his teammate for a second. That's an interesting... I don't know if you saw that, but that's an interesting load on his gun. I believe that was a muzzle brake and a hollow sight. Interesting. As yet now, oh, definitely not at all. As we get another pick down, it seems both teams are kind of struggling on what to do. Defenders are straggling along as attackers are playing a little safer.
You know, seeing some massive value from these Thunderbirds that are really healing this Jaeger back up. Gonna be interesting to see as these gun parts come down. Still about half the round left, how quickly this push and execute goes down.
As Magistrate goes for the bait and immediately swings. St. Maddie looks like he's back in the game, now getting another 2 kills off the round. As kills are even now, both teams full health thanks to that Thunderbird. As pretty strong holds, everyone spread out. They can go both ways to each team. As almost getting that 1 kill off the metal detector, but being able to run away just in time.
3v3 here with about 50 seconds left. Looking like a push from metal probably coming through from this Ash, but they're gonna have to be careful. The defenders are ready for that. Not sure if they have a push coming in from the other angle as well to help them out here. He's got a stairs, bang over there. Ace, he's in sight, but he's gonna get punished, unlike Vancouver's defense.
I would say that was a little questionable. He still had plenty of time left. Definitely can make a couple of calls and what to do and push all at once. As he's struggling to be able to make a push, as he's being pinched off of that rotate and the door.
15 seconds remaining.
And he just says, I don't have to worry about it. I'm just going to push in the site. As Molly doesn't know, at being able to, as he gets the kill through that big rotate. Little interesting play. And St. Matty taking another kill. I'm not going to lie to you. That huge rotate is a little bit questionable, but it did go out in favor of Atlanta.
First off, I gotta point out, Joey Lipton there, MVP of that round. I'm not even talking about what he did himself, but those Thunderbirds, I think the defenders got almost like 200 HP back off of those things. Definitely getting full value out of that. And then Atlanta on their defense, a lot better at punishing Vancouver's aggressive moves, and Vancouver really not aggressing all at once. I think that's one of the things we overlook with Atlanta, as we call them frag heavy and less strategic. But the amount of coordination they have when they all have these explosive, cohesive pushes really gets them their punch. Vancouver maybe tried to go a little bit similarly there at times, but just the cohesion was completely off.
Vancouver definitely was making some mistakes. Same with Atlanta, but Atlanta was actually able, as we see Ducky leaving the game, most likely a lag out. But like I was saying, Atlanta was able to pinch Vancouver and really hit them hard with them struggling, not being able to decide which push they want to take, as they were a little spread out. One on metal, one in office, and one still outside, kind of doing individual pushes rather than pushing together. And another one leaves.
Looks like we'll probably have a re-ghost here, I'm going to guess, but maybe not. It looks like we might be playing this round out. Another one leaves, and it looks like we are going to be having a re-host here in order to get us back to a 5v5.
Yeah, not sure what the problem was this game. I'm pretty sure we'll get an explanation pretty soon.
Round still not stopped though. There we go.
There we go.
Finally confirming that rehost locked in. What are we thinking so far, Big Sarge? I know that you and I both said we were favoring this Vancouver side because of the momentum they had coming in, but frankly, I'm not seeing any momentum.
No, not at all. It could be because how Anchorage has been playing for the past I wouldn't even say past, but how they have been playing in the series has not been looking good. They started off a little strong and immediately started falling down, as they have been struggling to get a couple of wins the past couple of games. Where Atlanta, it does seem that they want to go in these playoffs off a win. They don't want to lose this game, and they want to take their seat back.
Atlanta, definitely a proud team, part of that Power Four. Really laying the foot down here, trying to secure and verify that they are the second best team in the East. They don't want any question marks next to that. Vancouver is not getting it going early on.
No, not at all. And it's a little funny, now that we're having a rehost, I think I may have jinxed at the beginning of this game, where maybe it'll be our last rehost, but nope, we're here once again.
Well, it wouldn't be a Stampy and Big Sarge cast without at least two rehosts.
Nope, not at all. And do you think that due to this rehost, maybe Vancouver gets some momentum back just like last time?
I mean, it definitely helps reset the mental. It can really stop the momentum that was going on, which was all Atlanta's way, and really give Vancouver a good chance to talk things over. They can talk about what's going wrong. They can explain why are they differing in their approaches and attacks, because quite frankly, the biggest problem for them has been looking a little bit disjointed on the attack compared to Atlanta's seemingly symbiotic, just in sync psychic pushes that you really can't do anything against because you call for your teammate to help and your teammate already got slammed.
Yeah, and it seems like Atlanta is really not breaking what they're facing now. After that one power struggle on the attacking round, they played a little slow. They went back to their fast-paced movement, and they took an easy round. They took 2 easy rounds right after that. As they saw, the window play is doing just right. They started pushing to the window again and taking heavy attacks because they are now winning. I'm seeing a lot of ones going on. I don't know about you, but a lot of 1v1s have been going on in Atlanta coming out in favor.
You know, there are a good amount of ones going on, and especially I noticed that last round, Vancouver. I know you're down. It's a 3v3. You don't have as many manpower, but all three of them playing on their own, not being able to force any 2v1s or even live intel while they're taking their gunfight. I think it really hurt them there, and they had a much better chance taking that round if they at least had someone there to get the refrag on metal or somewhere. Because really, as soon as the one died, the next died, and they never got anything back for either of them.
That is very true. And if Vancouver really wants to turn this around, something has to happen. Because it's not much like they went from being able to adjust to a team to not being able to adjust at all.
Well, that's 5-2. They got a little bit of time left, but not much. One more round goes Atlanta's way. That puts them on match point, but we've definitely seen Vancouver make some comebacks. The last match, they made a comeback down a man after a rehost like this. It's going to be interesting to see this time. I'm hoping they're able to get their full team in here. And hopefully, they'll still get some of that momentum shift back their way, though.
Oh, most definitely. Now, as we're to a break again, what is going to happen? I know I've said this out once already, but what is going to happen once the game starts? Because, again, a lot can change.
You know, I had a lot of faith in Vancouver early on. And I'm going to keep it going here. I think with this rehost, they're able to talk out their issues and really solidify this attack. I think that this match is at least going to overtime.
And if I see overtime, I definitely want to see a knife fight on that game. I want to see a knife fight who moves up a seat or who doesn't. But hopefully, also after this break, I do want to see Ducky being able to climb himself back as he was still struggling a bit throughout the game. Where St. Matty has definitely been able to turn it around, gain some very valuable kills throughout the game.
Well, this also serves as a reset for individual players. You know, if you're having a very rough start to the game, really struggling to get your kills on the board, well, now it seems almost like a new game. When you pull up the scoreboard, you've got 0 kills and 0 deaths.
And as we are now beginning once again.
Back into this match, Vancouver this time able to get all 5 members back in. Happy to see that. Really wondering if maybe it's an issue more so on their side, because that's 4 rehosts over the past 2 games for them. Hopefully, if that is an issue on their side, they get that sorted out before playoffs. Hearing out it was an audio issue. That's not on their side. That's Ubisoft pulling a classic on us. But regardless, it's 5-2. We're back in the match.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Interesting operator lineup here for Atlanta. You know, really leaning into those trap ops with 3 of them. Got the Ella Frost Cat Cam lineup. And then a Warden for that, probably for that 1.5 on the MPX, and a Pulse. Not really much wall denial, not really much
Bomb located by
in the way of utility. Just really seemingly hoping to get frags, get some trap operator value, which, given the way line of plays, relying on their frags is not the worst idea.
Oh, I'm liking this pulse strat. What I'm looking at right now. He says reinforcing. I'm
5
good.
seconds remaining.
What do you think of? What do you think about that
Attackers are
Frost
moving
game?
to defuse a bomb.
Oh, apologize, but go on.
Well, Frost Elite, I mean, it is what it is. Let's be honest.
Defender
Frost managed to get a little bit warden out here, going for a real risky one peak. Pulse wasted his C4 too.
A valuable person to have.
On. I don't know that I recommend it. I know you're up 5-2, but especially the way we've seen games go lately, you gotta close it out when you can. But getting that first pick there onto the IQ, that's gonna be big.
And he's going for the teabag. Teabag and spinning. Please do not do that. There we go. We do not want to see another nitro being wasted. As Pulse throwing his nitro was a very questionable move, as he is Pulse, and you do want to keep his nitro. Going in for the wallbang. Good ping. Leaving L at 1. Being able to get the pick off. She said, "You may tag me, but I'm gonna swing anyways." She's still waiting for the swing as she goes down again, being left at 1.
We're sitting at a 4v3 here for the defenders. Good situation to be in defensively, but the attackers still got 2 minutes to play with and lots of intel, especially with that Brava. A lot of people just look at her and say, oh, I can take some defense gadgets. Also, you can switch to drones, but it's not going to matter for long. She gets injured, and I don't think there's a teammate there to help her out. And there is not, as she gets finished off quickly. Down to a 2v4 here.
Yes, most definitely. As Atlanta seems to really have gained their confidence by playing aggressive, just like how they normally do, and they're doing it very well. As Jackal and Ion are being left in a very tough situation, not even being able to get into the game to map or sight. However, one little mess up from either side can really change this whole round.
Definitely a big ass here. But he's swinging out and he gets the kill.
And goes for the body shot.
Body. Atlanta, they're very confident that they're winning this one, and given that it's looking like they're going to be up 6-2, probably for good reason.
And I don't know if you noticed, but I think somebody's underneath the open spot, and he does not know that he's there, right on the diffuser. Actually, a really good play because you cannot see him at all, as he's most likely going to get this kill.
A little bit of a manual frost trap there, but Jackal is suddenly deciding he's too good for defuse. They're going to be rotating around, probably getting a gunfight here soon. Uninjected
as he runs
really
out,
lights him up. But 30 seconds left. He's got to hit this quick. He gets the pick on the board, and he sees the pulse outside as well. He's got to win this one.
And again, this is where mistakes can happen as he goes down.
One enemy outside. If he gets that kill, he gets
no way.
Like 1v1 now with 15 seconds left. This is winnable.
As he's now rushing in.
He have an idea.
Oh, Frost played it smart.
No diffuser, and he dies to the cap can trap. You hate to see it. All that work, bringing it down to a 1v1. Just for it to end with a cap can trap. You know he's kicking himself right now. His team was really hoping he'd steal that round for him.
Frost, if you're on my team, I guarantee you everybody's yelling, do not swing, run away. Because he does not have diffuser and there's cap cans all over the place. Do not swing. As like I told you, it really depends on the situation of each team, what they would do, as it went from a clear 1v4 to an easy 1v1.
Well, it's a match that really doesn't mean too much for either team here, but still,
Defenders,
you gotta think
bombs
the
from being
teams
defused by attackers.
maybe should be a little more conservative than 3 running outside, but still a decent amount of time left in the round. But regardless, it works for Atlanta. They're up 6-2 here on match point. I'm not so sure we're seeing overtime anymore.
Don't believe so, as they're looking for a finish. But they are playing custom, so things can change. Not many teams do play customs.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
Well, looking like they're having a little fun with IQ's drone here. Really seeming like neither team is really taking this all that seriously anymore. But still, good performance from Atlanta early on. And definitely giving probably some momentum going into the playoffs, assuming they don't choke
Attackers
this.
are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Absolutely right, as they are going in for a hard cover on that window, doing 2 with zombies and double Mira. And I believe they're really just going for the view rather than actually using that. Actually using their drone. And immediately goes for the body shots as Ash gets the first pick. Pulse going down.
I think this match has turned a little bit away from a strategical match and a little bit more of a disrespect. Some wacky little setups here by the defenders and a lot of shooting bodies.
And I believe Atlanta's still doing a little bit of trolling going on here, but it definitely could change around as they can take this very seriously and easily come out with the win. Personally, I would go for the win. Let's not mess around. Let's finish the game. And let's start off in the playoffs strong with a 7-2 win.
Especially against a team like Vancouver. Team, and getting down there, I think, to the cap can trap.
Going in for the kill.
They're having an impact so far.
Applying first aid.
Mira going in for the screen.
Mira hears it. Will he punish him off of this? No, he's gonna miss the shot. He'll get off of that revive. Real lucky of them to be able to recover that cap can there. But and another pick there. Now advantage has shifted Atlanta's way. It's down to these 3 members of Vancouver to prevent Atlanta from winning this here and now and ending their season with an exclamation mark.
And keep in mind, this has really gone from a 4v5 to not only a man advantage, but the health advantage. Ash being at 45 and Ace being down from Captains and dies going down in a 3v2. So now 2v2 man advantage is no longer an option, but they still have the health advantage. And again, Ash's hitbox is rather small, so it can still go to either or.
You know, a little interesting role reversal here. It seems like the attackers have a lot more control of sight than the defenders, but the defenders have the diffuser in hand. Looking like Capcom might get an easy kill here. Does the Sabana know he's there? He's slowly peeking.
And does Bud gets the kill
Habana
anyways?
wins it. Out, down to Dean here to finish this out if we want to see a nice early end of this game so I can get some nice water, maybe a nice popsicle, and have some fun. But Vancouver going to be doing their very best to make sure I don't get to do that.
Taking the advantage up top, Ash swings and goes down, as now it is down to 23 seconds, and he tries to run out and dies.
In there, I don't hate the play, trying to run around and just get outside and get away, but the watchful live, the Habana catches him. And we're going to have another round, even though it seems like if Atlanta wanted to, they really could have ended it there.
You're absolutely right, and now it's 6-3. As Vancouver tries to push for the comeback, and Atlanta, not sure if they're really caring to finish it off or not, because I do think that round could have went differently.
Well, you know, Atlanta might doing a little bit of funny business, but they got a lot of gun skill, and they sure aren't intentionally missing. But gonna be interesting to see here if they decide to settle down and put this one away before it actually turns into a match. Unicorn Tachanka out here. I got a feeling that the tomfoolery might not be over yet. I don't know, Big Sarge. I'm kind of thinking if I'm Atlanta, you know, just put it away, you know, give the poor casters a break, let them rest, let them finish eating their spaghetti that they never got a chance to eat because Thurmond started this too soon for them. But it's alright, we don't worry about that. Tachanka here spinning around with his deployable shield out. Not sure just how much Atlanta's meaning and how much they're actually trying to win. They're going to be interesting to see. That's why something like.
And to be fair, this game may have started a bit early, but it seems like we're ending a little off schedule because due to the having to rehost and being able to, as you see, that shield is not meant for the rush. And if it was a reverse of Vancouver did that to Atlanta, I think that could have actually helped him out a lot. But it seems like Atlanta doesn't want the rush either.
Attackers have located
And I'm really wondering if they droned IQ in, or she just went for a hard rush. Oh, almost gets our first pick.
IQ playing from below here, probably going to use the reaction to see if she can't find anything. I think she might have just looked at a C4. She did. She misses it, but there she gets it off the board. Taking that lower control, not really being held by Atlanta. It's not necessarily necessary when you're holding the upper sight the same way that holding up above is necessary on your sight. Well, this window, let's see if Atlanta's any better at the defensive side of playing this window than Vancouver was. We know that really, that window deserves the MVP award for that first side of attacking for Atlanta.
No, you're absolutely right. And as you see, Warden going in for the nitro, but no longer having it, and he misses Ash, not noticing she just runs by going to the net. And Alibi really tried going underneath like the first play and did not get it. As now IQ holding on top of top metal, two top metal. Game looks like they're getting ready for a rush. Being able to get trade shots and gets wallbanked, I believe. Yes, wallbanked and left that one. And 90 cam is still up, but no one on 90 cam.
You know, interesting stack up on metal here. We saw Vancouver do it earlier, but a flank, the Mira. No one expects the roaming Mira. Gets one frag there. The Alibi also there. That means only two left on site. He's picking off that roaming Mira now, or roaming Alibi rather. Now we're down to a 3v3 as Chonka gets that frag back. One of the attacks on low health.
This still can go either side as both are, I say, at a fair amount of health. Actually, no. Having the defender side, as it gets a kill off. Now it is man advantage as things are seeming to be changing. as we
Very,
get a
very good use out of that Blackbeard shield there. Really the only reason Ducky was able to win that fight. See if he pulls around on the flank. This is winnable. All of his opponents are really low on health.
Attackers are activating the bomb diffuser.
Rather, just Ducky is, as Ace actually has to get tagged up. In a 1v2 post plan here, hard to win as a defender, but we've definitely seen Tabibara pull some things off before. Is he able to pull it out now?
as is the diffuser is still down, but he still can able to get the 2 kills off as he gets 1 down. Going in for the 2nd kill, not knowing that he's holding the door and now knows he's holding the door. Again, Ace's gun is scary and he is low health and he does not win and bringing him to 7-4.
You know, really crushing it a little bit from Atlanta here, you know? I mean, it's 6-4 now. 1-2 more rounds going Vancouver's way, and suddenly we're going to overtime when we clearly didn't need to early on. Atlanta just keeps their serious demeanor, but got nothing to play for, really. Not necessarily as eager to finish it out, maybe have a little bit of fun. Atlanta, they've earned it. They've had a stellar season all around. They had a bit of trouble early on, but switched out of an org and into a better one, and so far, having some fun in this game. You mind it and you don't at the
Attackers
same
need to
time.
locate and defuse bombs.
Like we both mentioned the Mira roaming. I don't know about you, but a roaming Mira gives me the same feeling of a roaming Doc or a Rook. It just doesn't go right. It doesn't feel right, but it sometimes works in your favor.
Well, you know, I have a certain particular friend from the land of Poland who had a common saying of no one expects the roaming maestro. And you know, Mira's
Oh, no.
very sight-focused utility. Decent gun, but once through, and it's true. You really don't expect it, and especially when you're having a little bit of fun here, why not send the Mira?
5 seconds left before insertion.
You know what I do question? I haven't seen a lot of nades from below.
Attackers must locate
I don't know
and
if you have
defuse
you
the
seen
bomb.
any. I haven't really seen any. I've seen lack of nades, as border is a hard map to be naded from below, but not really much going on between Atlanta and Vancouver.
You know, I'm glad you pointed that out, Sarge, because I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen a grenade thrown yet. I'm sure I've missed 1 or 2, but definitely not any kills resulting from them, as I would have noticed that early on. Vancouver here, gearing up for this attack. It looks like maybe Atlanta finally settling down, playing a little bit more serious, and closing this one out.
Yeah, because again, you do not want to sleep on Vancouver. One little mistake, and if they get the momentum, they will take it all the way, as they're able to win their past rounds, bringing it back to a 64, hoping for overtime.
You know, Atlanta here, looking a little more serious. They got their offs, hiding in a corner, though, as soon as I say that, you know. Maybe hoping Vancouver slips up on that drone edge, but based off what we've seen, maybe a little bit more of a meme strat than perhaps we were expecting. But regardless, Vancouver gets that first pick of the game onto the Warden. We're seeing the AK-12 really put up a lot of kills this match.
Setting up a sequential bomb located
Yes,
by
indeed.
attackers.
And it seems like Atlanta stopped with the trollage, but it might be a little too late. Seeing Vancouver now has momentum, getting the first pick. Again, roaming Captain on top metal going up, and we see the Thunderbird once again being able to get the health back. And Thunderbird was a huge role in the early rounds.
Well, certainly still winnable for this defense, but offense got 1 minute and 20 seconds to work with this man advantage here. You're able to see they got a little bit of what they needed on that breach. Rome really coming back to sight here. It's going to be up to Vancouver to force the issue here, as most of the defenders are back on site in defensive positions.
Well, there is still man advantage on the attacking side, but then again, the time all goes to the defense. Now we're at 58 seconds, and they really have to start working on a play, because a 4v5 is still definitely winnable on the defender's side. With 50 seconds, you either got to get the plan down or you got man down. You either got to pick one or the other.
Maybe a diamond one moment here, perhaps, for them to shine in. But again, getting in, knifing that barbed wire, going to be interesting to see. No defenders swinging on it yet, but certainly in position to pounce. 3 attackers. It's looking like this is
Going off the sound call. IQ now being left at 1. With game going down, they are now no longer have manpower, and everyone basically at full health thanks to the Thunderbird. With that fast 12 really putting in that work, they are really having trouble putting that defuse down. as one goes in for the rush, not even able to get not even able to kill.
10
Now
seconds
Flash,
remaining.
Thunderbird almost going down off the breach. As one rushes and gets no scope, plant goes down off the sound shield, being able to protect his whipping on Mozzie and not being able to kill it. And there we go, folks. And that gives us the game. Atlanta winning, Vancouver falling short 7-4.
You know, I believe you predicted pretty close to a 7-4, but the other way. And that last round, I know Atlanta was doing a little bit of trolling, but I don't think Vancouver is trying to. And we saw them with the man advantage really just waste